Happy New Year from Howie's Market, and Happy New Year to my household, the Hawk household, because just last night I rang in the new year by throwing some USDA prime filet mignon on the grill that I picked up from Howie's, and it tasted like we were at a Michelin star rated steakhouse. What a cut of meat. But no surprise there, because Howie's Market was voted the best butcher by Los Angeles Magazine. Besides award-winning protein, Howie's has the best of everything a grocery store offers. Craft beer, vintage wines, top-shelf spirits, the freshest produce, the greatest seafood department, and a locally famous rain or shine weekend parking lot barbecue. Folks, forget learning a new language or going to the gym. Those are silly resolutions. Make your number one New Year's resolution to get to Howie's Market in San Gabriel, California. 6580 North San Gabriel Boulevard. On Instagram, at Howie's Market. And over the phone, if you dial 626-286-8871. We love Howie's, and we want you to love them too. New Year, same great weekly iPod broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Fellowship, our first show of 2025, and perhaps one of the most daunting episodes we've ever put together because, quite frankly, folks, there's just too much to talk about and too much to get caught up on. My name is Adam Hawk. He is Ryan Engle, and on behalf of Nation Golf, we wish you a happy and spiritually prosperous New Year. But on behalf of myself, the pleasantries are now over.
Okay.
There he is, folks. He joined the podcast.
I'm waiting for my window.
Gave you plenty of them.
No, you didn't.
Sure did.
I've been told not to interrupt as much.
Like I said, the pleasantries are now over because off the top, by far the most important and urgent thing I will say today is you better have those mother flippin' Christmas decorations down. And if you don't, I am here to tell you, you are already 11 days late, and this isn't your taxes. There's no filing for an extension. Get the ladder out. Get those freaking lights off of your house.
Did you have lights on your house this year?
Never do.
Wow, easy for you to say, huh? Mr. Oh, sorry, happy Halloween, no candy here, sticker on the front door, no lights or anything, but hey, you guys should get the ladders out and take your lights down, says the guy with no fucking lights on his house. What a sham.
We are 6 days into 2025, and you are living in a time with 6 days to go in 2024. It's sickening, and I don't want to see it anymore. It's over, it's been over, and don't peddle that horse crap that you're trying to hang on to the joy as long as possible. No, you're not. You're just lazy.
Or busy.
No one's busy over a break.
You are the busiest over the break. And if you have lights on the house, which let me just fill you in, Hawk, since you don't do this, do you even own a ladder big enough for a Christmas light setup? What's the biggest ladder you own?
I think it's 18 inches. It's a step stool in the kitchen.
See? Exactly. It's not easy to just put those things up and take them down, especially when you got honeydews, holiday parties, making memories with your family, getting outside of the house on a Saturday.
The Christmas season starts the day after Thanksgiving. It was 27 days long this year. That is enough. What kind of adult needs more than 27 days of Christmas? If your kids have turned the page, and guess what? They all have. There is no excuse why you can't too. And I think that all you freaks who still have your lights up actually have turned the page. Just like I think everyone who still has their decorations up isn't really trying to squeeze out all the joy that they can. I think they're just lazy. What other excuse do you have when no one has been back to work in almost 3 weeks?
I just gave you all of them.
You put those things up in one day. You can't take them down in the same time.
How do you know how long it takes to put them up?
How long did it take you to put your lights up?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
Well, no, I ask you first.
Can't take more than a day.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, you wouldn't know. So are you asking or are you telling?
I'm asking you.
Sounds like you're telling.
Are your lights still up?
The house lights are. I didn't have time yesterday to take them down. We went to the beach, doing family stuff, making memories. My priorities weren't to get my step stool out and fidget with my fingers. You know what I mean?
Get the ladder out, shut your yapper, and join the rest of us in 2025.
Don't us this thing, because this isn't you. You're not part of this. You didn't have Christmas lights up. Everything you're saying is void. You can't have an opinion of something if you're not on the team.
New rule going forward. If you can't get your lights and decor down by Jan 1, you don't get to decorate anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Ryan, you sent me a bittersweet video of your Christmas tree in the backyard fire pit last night.
It wasn't bitter, I'll tell you that.
It was bitter because you hadn't done it 12 days ago.
What are you talking about? You have to cut it down and put it out there and let it dry out a little bit so it burns better.
That didn't come straight from your house?
No, that was out and by the fire pit cut in 3 pieces for I don't even know how many days.
Okay. My tree has been in 3 pieces, back in the cardboard box, in the garage.
Yeah, well, if your kids ever want to come over to the Engle household and actually experience a real Christmas, I'll let them come with us to go pick out a tree in the lot, bring it home, set it up. And then they can come back over about 27 days later, watch the Engle tradition of cutting that thing in 3s and putting it out in the fire pit in the backyard and giving the lesson about pine tree resin and why it lights up like a Christmas tree. I feel bad every year driving down the street, seeing everyone's tree on the side of the road. You want the trash man to just come pick this up? The best part about buying Christmas trees is burning them.
Yep.
Nothing, and I mean nothing on earth, burns like a Christmas tree. Christmas trees explode. I've learned that I have to cut it in 3s because one year I stood the whole damn thing up in the fire pit, and I had about a 30-second moment of butt puckering where I was sprinting for the hose thinking that this thing is going to hit the guava tree and all hell is going to break loose. So I learned now I do it in 3 stages, and you could see in the video just a third of that tree, once all the pine needles combust and it goes up, it's 12-foot flames. Mm-hmm. You put a whole 8-foot tree in that thing, you're sending signals to the moon. Those little gray men on the dark side are going, who the fuck is that down there?
For the record, one of my favorite moments of the year is the morning of December 26th when I wake up before my entire family, brew a hot cup of joe.
And I take down all the Christmas decorations before 10 a.m.
And I take down everything related to Christmas. This year, well, actually last year now, I had everything down and in boxes and back in the garage by 7:20 in the morning. And I love doing it because I love keeping it moving and getting to the next thing. Seeing Christmas decor in my house after Christmas is like walking past flyers for events that already happened. It's unsettling to me. I don't like it. It makes me feel stuck in the past. And I can't mentally think about the next thing until I file away the old thing. So that's why I do it. And all my friends who know this about me call me the Grinch. I'm not the Grinch.
Yes, you are.
The Grinch stole Christmas. I put it away.
Well, yeah, I was just tuning out there, but back to me.
You should get your own podcast called Back to Me.
Back to Me. You know what I added this year to the old Engle traditional Christmas tree burn? We do this little display of everyone's Christmas cards, all the family cards, you know? I added those to the fire this year.
You threw people's family pictures into the fire.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do with them? Recycle them?
God forbid.
God forbid. Like, that even works.
Do you have an anti-recycling take?
I've been told by, I don't know if it's every trash company, but I've been told by, I have some inside intel that the company that does our neighborhood and most of San Juan Capistrano, that the recycling portion of it is all BS. That it all goes to the same thing and it is not recycled. If you go to the San Juan landfill and you see all those trucks going in, I think they're all going to the same place.
I'm here to tell you that Drudge Report, OAN.com, and Truth Social is not inside information.
I don't even know what you just said. I'm talking about someone who works at the landfill. So, cool story. Keep listening to the fucking Washington Times or New York Times or whatever the fuck. I'm the most nuanced guy there is. This is independent journalism talking to someone who has boots on the ground. It's kind of like my buddy who used to work at the sushi bar. You know how they have the red and the green soy sauce? One's less sodium, one's the same. He's like, oh, fuck. We don't have time for that. We just fill it all up with the same shit. Kind of feel like that's what's happening at the landfill.
Moving on, at least from that take, but staying in 2024 for just a few moments longer, what were your top 3 highlights from the now concluded winter break?
Did
you not prepare this?
I did.
Why aren't you looking at your notes?
Because I wrote it down. I can remember what I wrote.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we will. I think since we have a little one, just the family Christmas at home, just the classic being at home, the fireplace is on, the standard Christmas traditions, because that's what it's all about. I can certainly tell you it wasn't having to go on a store run on Christmas Eve and seeing the Albertsons parking lot look like hell on earth and how rude people are.
Really? Rudeness on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, just like the parking situation. Everyone's just so frazzled. Anyways, that definitely was not the highlight. That was a low light, so it made you realize what the highlights are. Being at home, we had a wonderful Christmas dinner. I did a prime rib again this year, and that was great. And then the other 2 are the Des and the Des. There's so much going on in the wonderful California desert in the winter. The ryegrass is sprouting. It's just 73 degrees with not a cloud in the sky. Cold at night, so you got to put a sweater on. We went out with an impromptu, just last minute, let's just rip out there because our nanny was gone for the week after Christmas. And we were like, what are we going to do for New Year's? We got a 3-year-old, no plans. And I hit up Tommy Delaskew, and I said, I have a strange feeling that you're solo right now out in the des sitting by the fire. And he's like, yep. When you coming out? And I was like, we'll be out first thing in the morning. And we just packed up that morning, hustled out there. Palmer just had this coming out party. Finally at that age where she's not only playing all the time, but kind of observing her environment. She loved Tommy's house. She loved running out on the golf course. She loved the warmth of the des, going in what we call the jacuzzi, the warm pool. And then the next day we played 18 holes. She rode with us the whole time. Just had an absolute magical day. Capped it off with the best dinner I've had in my tenure going to LG's in La Quinta.
Wow.
One of the best starts to the new year I've ever had. Golf course was pure. The food was pure. The good times were pure. There was no cloud over us. It was spiritual. We all got home and we were like, we needed that. That was my break. Everything was kind of your normal hustle bustle, the dash to the finish line of Christmas, highs and lows, but ultimately all good. But then inching towards the new year, we just went out there, and what a way to cap it.
Yeah, because if you didn't go, you would have just sat there and watched your lights not come down from your house.
That, or just some stupid New Year's house party or something.
When's the last time you went to a New Year's party?
We kind of go to one every year.
Really? Which one?
Whatever one I don't invite you to. Well, what are your 3 highlights from the winter break, Adam?
Well, thanks for asking. What a tee up, Ryan. Wow. My number 1 highlight was Christmas Eve service at my church. I haven't been to a Christmas Eve service in maybe 20 years because there was a good 15-year period after high school that I stopped going to church. And then when I started going again, I was always working on Christmas Eve, and I was working the worst shift imaginable on Christmas Eve. The NFL decided to start playing games on Christmas Eve because they just don't have enough of the spotlight in American culture. And so I would have to cut highlights on Christmas Eve in Culver City, some 40 miles from my house. And I decided at the beginning of this year that I was not going to supplement my income with that freelance audio highlight editing job. And because of it,
he could go all the way.
Because of saying no to that job and quitting my fantasy football league, I am so proud to say I have not seen a single second of the NFL this year.
Dad had the game on while we were all making dinner last night. It was Detroit and whoever fighting for a playoff spot. I looked up and watched a few plays here and there. And have you seen how they kick off now?
No.
There's 2 receivers. They kick off from close, and the guys stand at the 30 and they can't run to tackle until the guy catches it. But the kick always goes deep and the guys just kneel every time anyway, so there's no kickoff return anymore. Instead of starting on the 20 now, they start them on the 30. How do people not see how bad this product is now?
Right.
The sport is awful, dude.
It's the worst. And I'm so happy and mentally healthier for not having seen any of it this year.
Yeah.
But it was great to be back in Christmas Eve service. Nothing like going to church in the evening time, in the dark, dressed up.
Do you guys do a candle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did ours. Every time, you're just like,
yeah.
Wow. If you ain't leaving there with some feels, man, you ain't got any feels left.
You're totally right. Hearing traditional Christmas hymns in 2024 and listening to the real story of Christmas the night before Christmas in a congregation with your family, that was the peak of the entire season for me. I would say another highlight was our family trip with Jimmer and Grace to Los Osos.
Los Osos.
Los Osos. Did I say it like that?
Los Osos.
Central Coast, California, just a town over from San Luis Obispo. Beautiful part of the state. Very peaceful, but also very dramatic because it's the Central Coast. So there are rugged mountains and cliffs running right up to a very violent Pacific Ocean. We did a lot of fun and memorable things and had the perfect mix of indoor relaxation and outdoor excursions. And the house that we stay in, Engle, is hooked up through Jimmer because he knows the owners, so that's incredible. And this year, the owners installed a cedar barrel 6-person backyard schwitz.
Welcome to the Schwitz.
So I was in that thing twice a day sweating out all my food sins.
Wow.
I'm here to tell you that if I had to choose between installing a pool hot tub combo in my backyard or a putting green or a schwitz.
Welcome to the Schwitz.
If I was given those three options, I'm taking the schwitz.
Welcome to the Schwitz.
Over a jacuzzi?
Yeah.
Horrible take. Horrible take.
You would take the pool jacuzzi.
Yeah, because for one, your property value just went up. For two, when it's hot, you're diving into the pool, having parties, all the kids come over. Insane memories are made with that.
Yep.
And then whenever you want, you just fire up that Coos and jump in with a cocktail. The sauna, that's like a selfish personal thing. That's for you, not to share. So I could see why you like that. I just wonder if, was it hard wiping up all the mayo off the ground that came out of your pores when you were in that thing twice a day? Just mayonnaise fucking coming out of your pores, dude.
It's actually cake.
Cake?
Yeah, Jimmer baked a birthday cake for his wife who was born on Christmas, and then he brought the cake to Los Osos, and we had cake every night for 3 nights in a row. It was a great cake.
Cake?
So you're taking the pool and the hot tub over the schwitz.
Yep.
Welcome to the Schwitz.
What about the maintenance of the pool, and what about the insurance cost of having one of those in your backyard?
Insurance cost?
I think homeowners insurance goes way up when there's a drowning
doubt it.
hazard in the
I
backyard.
doubt it.
You doubt it?
Yeah. Way up? What does way up mean?
I don't know. I'm not even allowed to talk about lights on houses, so all the homeowner stuff I'll leave to you.
Well, yeah, because how would you know about lights and homeowners insurance?
Are you about to renters shame me on this
No,
podcast?
it's just facts. You're about to tell me that homeowner insurance goes way up. It's like, well, that's an assumption.
My third and final highlight, and I'm going to borrow from you here, uninterrupted family time, which is something you just talked about that you had in the desert around New Year's. I spent a lot of time with my wife and kids this break, almost 3 uninterrupted weeks, and I loved it, and I needed it, and I'm always busier than I want to be, but for some reason, and I don't know if you felt this way or if our listeners felt this way, but at least for me, this winter break was defined by how little outside communication I sent and received. My work inboxes were a ghost town. My texts were a quarter of what they usually are. My time spent on social media was cut in half. So I felt like the break was very long, very uninterrupted, and very full of family time, and that was definitely a highlight.
Definitely a highlight.
Do you feel like the whole world just kind of tapped out for a couple of weeks there?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because when you go on trips during spring break or the summer, not everyone is on that same calendar. If you leave work during the summer because you're going to take a week-long trip.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
The emails still fly hot and heavy, but it's almost like after our Mary Swankmas show on the 20th, America was just like, we'll pick this up on January 6th. And boy, that was nice.
And boy, is that over.
I know. The friction of coming back today. New Year's resolutions. This is something we did last year on the podcast. Do you remember the 3 that you made last year for 2024?
I remember 2.
Okay. I listened to the podcast on the way into work.
Of course you did.
Well, it's called preparing. Your 3 from last year were you wanted to do a daily little prison yard workout. Throw some weights around and get stronger every day. Your second one was get closer to, quote, the man upstairs, which is a term that I hate.
Why?
God isn't a man, and he has a name. It's God, not the man upstairs.
Excuse me, big man upstairs.
That makes it all better.
Yeah.
And your third and final one was to eat healthier at home. If you had to grade yourself on those 3 resolutions, how did you do?
Probably C+. I had spots of A student and then long stretches of absolute failure. But ultimately, I passed with flying colors. A lot of work for improvement, though.
A lot of room for improvement?
A lot of room for work for improvement, though.
Okay. Before we get into your 2025 resolutions, I want to give my 2024 resolutions and grade myself. I had 3 as well on last year's podcast, and the first one was to get the podcast sponsored. The second one was to stop procrastinating, and the third one was to stop tipping on remedial service. I called it the year of the stiff. I give myself a B+. I did get the podcast sponsored. Thank you, Howie's Market, but that didn't happen until September. For the most part, I did stop tipping on remedial service, but I took a massive step back during the holidays. I tipped so much on counter service in December that I probably undid 11 months of legendary stiffing. And I procrastinated a lot less, and because of that, I'm happy to report that I had a much better and more manageable grip on my crippling anxiety. So I give myself a B+. What are your resolutions for this year?
2 are pretty much the same, but there's levels to this shit. As far as the big man upstairs is concerned, making him more important is one thing, but it needs to be like actually physically acted on, implementing some action items to that, not just the ideology of it. So there's that one. And then I get such a benefit when I do my little lift regimen, but I just need to stay regimented on it. So I want to add a little surf and lift regimen.
Surf?
Start surfing more, because all of these tie into the most important one. So the surf thing and the lift thing is being healthy, and that helps your mental health too, which is clearly something I need to work on, especially backing up to the first part, which was getting to step 2 with the big man upstairs. But those all point to the most important thing, which is what I really need to work on the most, is making my bride feel like she's a priority, not just me acting like she's a priority. I think these things will help balance the overall journey of life to hopefully help all the other things, which trickle down to business and your relationships and all this other shit, because we focus on all those stuff, but that's just cart before the horse. Because if your own personal vessel and your home with your wife, kids, what have you, if that's not taken care of, then how can you best take care of the other stuff that you think is so important? Everything's going to be around making sure Mama Bear feels good and special and she's prioritized. And I'm looking forward to hopefully succeeding at all that and seeing the benefits of that trickling down into the other stuff.
That is very well said. And for the second year in a row, the resident jester on the show went with very earnest, very sincere resolutions, which I appreciate as the typically earnest and sincere person on this podcast. Now, I will put on your hat and wear the comedian role for just a second. And nothing says prioritizing your wife like putting her third on your list of resolutions.
No, she's the first. So I did the list in that order like you always try to get me to, so I don't do the first thing first.
Descending order?
Yeah.
Guess my joke backfired.
Yeah. It's hard to wear that hat. Not many people can pull it off. Looks good on you, though.
Oh, good stuff. My 3 resolutions, again, are...
What are your 3 resolutions, Adam?
Boy, you're getting good at this broadcasting thing. My number 1 resolution, stop eating ice. I got to stop eating ice.
Ice.
You eat ice?
No.
Kind of a little kid habit.
I've never seen you eat ice.
Clearly haven't been around me.
Okay.
Okay.
I knew you'd have these stupid takes.
No,
going.
this isn't even being funny. I need to stop eating ice. When I finish a chilled soft drink of Diet Coke with lemon from In-N-Out, I discard the lemon wedge and then I eat the ice like a freak. A lot of people eat ice, and I need to stop eating ice. But I have an oral fixation problem. Always have to have something in my chompers, whether it's a Zin, a pen cap, ice. I got to knock that off. Got to stop eating ice.
Okay, good one. Number 1, huh? That's number 1? Okay. I can't wait to hear 2 and 3.
Number 2, play more tennis. I love tennis. Besides golf, it's very likely my favorite thing to do, and I used to play a lot, but I don't anymore because tennis is a really cumbersome hobby. You have to find a court, which is a task, because if you find one, it needs to be unlocked. It needs to be available, meaning nobody else on it. And depending on what time you're going, it needs to be dry and lit if you go at night. The hardest part of tennis, you need a playing partner who is right around your ability because tennis is hard. And it's really hard if your partner can't hit it back over the net and rally with you. So even though it's just 2 people, 2 rackets, 1 ball, and it's free, it's hard to get a tennis session going.
Yeah, it is. But when you do have that little thing going, it's probably the most fun sport next to golf, I would say.
Thank you.
It really is.
It really is. So I want to play more this year. I think I played twice in 2024. Let's see if I can quadruple that in 2025 and get 8 tennis sessions in this year. If you live around Fullerton and you can rally, hit me up. My third and final one is to practice the piano at least 3 times a week.
Ooh, you're a pianist, huh? Nice.
We recently put a piano in the house for Christmas.
Where did you get that idea?
You know what's funny is that we had the same idea.
Oh, we did?
Yes. So you got your wife a piano for her birthday in November.
Right.
And I got my daughter a piano for Christmas.
Right.
And it's going to look like because your gifting came before mine
Right.
that I copied you.
Hey, look, Adam, I'm only one man.
My daughter took a liking to piano a couple of years ago when she visited Seattle and played my parents' piano.
Right.
There's a great app called Simply Piano.
Right.
Free commercial here for them.
Right.
Where you can learn how to play. We got her the app and a piano. And what do you know? I've been sitting down at that thing.
Oh, yeah? Tickling the ivory?
Tickling the ivory.
Are you going to replace Thomas Wrighton next year for the Christmas show?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
He's irreplaceable. Not just because he's a great pianist, but he's a great guy.
He is a good pianist.
And I don't think I'm either of those things.
You're definitely not.
You want to talk about real golf, fake golf, or real golf that feels like fake golf? Which one of those 3 do you want to talk about?
I haven't seen real golf in a long time, so I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, you already did it, but I was going to ask you to recap your trip to the desert where you played real golf at Indian Wells Country Club on your New Year's trip. And so no update from you there. Real golf talk from me. I haven't played since we went and did our photo shoot on December 12th with the Nolan brothers out at the Cove course because I am nursing for the first time in my life a golf injury. And my wrist has been jacked up since that day. It still hurts to move.
Huh.
You ever had a golf wrist injury?
Yeah, you got to switch hands. Golf injury. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you need to redo your New Year's resolution. Let's spill the tea. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man.
I think one of my favorite parts about this podcast
Really?
is your one-man monologues where you get on this joke that I can't participate in because it's so inappropriate and I have standards. And,
I have standards. Give me a break.
And you will just riff off of yourself.
This is the first I have heard of your injury that happened how many weeks ago now? You haven't said anything about your injury. Are you making this up?
I don't mean to pull the curtain back because I was trying to have an organic conversation
This
here
is
with
organic.
You.
Okay.
I mentioned this to you before the break, and you said that you once had a golf wrist injury where you had to take a couple months off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's happened.
Okay, it's really difficult for me to have to remember the things for you because you can't do it. You're supposed to pick up on this and be like,
yeah.
I had one of those too. Here's what I did. Here's what it was from.
Did you just shoot me?
When did you experience your golf wrist injury? What was it from, and how did you get better?
I don't remember how it happened, but it slowly started getting tweaked, and then it just got to a point where I couldn't really hit the ball. I've had a couple finger injuries.
My fingers hurt.
My right hand ring finger, I've jammed it so many times when I grew up playing basketball that it's very tender and it's more swollen than the rest of my fingers.
Now your back's gonna hurt
The main joint.
because you just pulled landscaping duty.
There was a time where I don't know if it was something I was doing with the grip, but I was irritating it every time I play, and it's still the least mobile finger I have.
Anybody else's fingers hurt?
So every now and then that thing will flare up, and it's like hard to hit the ball.
I didn't think so.
I mean, dude, I play 2-3 times a month. I don't practice. I can deal with a little grimace here and there just to get through the day. So I just play it. Play through the pain. Kobe.
That was our real golf talk, folks. Do you want to now talk about fake golf or real golf that feels like fake golf?
Let's go to fake golf first, Adam.
Fake
for
golf
500.
for 500. The TGL, which many people believe stands for Tomorrow Golf League, coincidentally, starts tomorrow.
What does it stand for? Do we even know?
The parent company for it is called Tomorrow, so people think that it's Tomorrow Golf League. A lot of people thought originally it was Tiger Golf League.
I thought it was going to be like Tigers. No offense to the cool.
The TGL starts tomorrow. This league is a couple of years in the making because last year it was set to launch. The inflatable dome at the community college in Florida collapsed, and the league was put off for a year. It doesn't take a year to put a tire patch on an inflatable and hit it with an air pump, but it does take a year to get back to the part of the golf calendar where nobody has anything going on. So guys like Colin Morikawa, who were in Hawaii this past weekend, will now fly to Jupiter, Florida to play in a simulator golf league at a community college inside an inflatable dome. And the TGL is working real hard to make this seem real cool. Now, I think it would be criminally unfair for us to sit here and have any sort of critique of a league that we haven't seen yet. We will wait and give that review next week. That said, the question of the day is, will you be watching the TGL tomorrow night?
I'm going to have to rubberneck this freeway accident just a little bit. The temptation's too large because I have a lot riding on this, Adam. You heard it here first, folks.
All right.
This thing is guaranteed to fail, and I need to make sure that I watch it when it does.
Okay.
I can't wait to watch them hit into a net with a video screen and then be like, okay, that landed in the rough. Now go place it right there on this moving platform in the rough. So what we're doing is basically a glorified lift, clean in place on artificial turf. This thing looks so fucking stupid. It's actually impressive. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to finish playing after the match and pour fake champagne on each other and go have sex with silicone sex dolls? Whatever happened to the real thing, guys? This is so weird. I'd like to say I'm shocked, but I'm kind of not. I'm just more dumbfounded that we continue down this flushing of a toilet from what golf used to be.
What if you watch it and you like it?
There's no way. We just saw this happen in surf. All these years, people talked about, like, well, one day they're going to make these wave pools. One day they're going to make these wave pools. And look what happens. Yeah, they made the wave pool, and the wave is perfect. It was really impressive to see it first. And now, nobody cares. It's artificial. They're taking celebrities out and holding the board for them and letting them get barreled. That was something that was so rare and took so much time and dedication and skill, and it was such a novelty and such a pursuit. Sometimes it could never happen. It was like a hole-in-one for some surfers if you're not on a high level, you know? And now Kylie Jenner's getting barreled at a fake wave with a train in the foreground that's running down a track, making a bump in the water. We really want to watch one of the game's greatest golfers hit out of a fake bunker in front of a screen? Really?
Really?
And now they're making this fake city rivalry aspect. The thing is just so bad. It's space food. The whole thing, to me, if I could label it in one term, it's bizarre.
That's a fair word for it. I am not going to watch because I don't have ESPN, and that's where it's being shown. I do find it comical that a fake simulator golf league has a better network than Live.
We all know why that is. The world is a back scratch. You're either in the club or you're out. So anyone who goes against the grain, no matter how much money you get involved, and you're trying to break in, it doesn't work like that. They're not part of the boys club. Live, can we have a discussion about whether their product's good enough or not? Yeah, but that's not the reason. They got all the money in the world. The reason they're not in is because they're kept out. They're being gate kept. But that could change. Who knows? But PGA Tour has done a great job of aligning with the big guys and keeping the little guys out, and that's what they've done. And that's why they have this league that's on a major network.
So I won't watch because I don't have ESPN, but like most things in this very small vacuum of the golf industry, we're not going to be able to avoid it because there will be droves and droves of clips on Instagram.
Speaking of clubs, there's the Creator Club, and they're all on the payroll, and they all have to act excited for the same things, and it's just one big corporate circle jerk. I think that's going to be the funniest part, is watching all these people who have to act like they like it.
There certainly is that, and you have to tip your hat to the marketing people at the TGL, because this is quintessential lipstick on a pig. This is not a compelling idea at all, but they've done an excellent job at rounding up all of the people with influence and reach and audiences inside of the golf space. And I hate to use the word bribing them, but they definitely did some sort of transaction, whether it was money, clout, collaborator tags, whatever, just saying, do you want a free box of gear if you can talk about how excited you are for the TGL? Do you want us to fly you out to Florida and you can hit bunker shots here and make videos? Do you want to be a part of this thing in exchange for telling everyone how excited and how great it is? And that excitement, whether it's genuine or not, will certainly be on full display these next couple of days. The question is it genuine or not? Do these people who are caping up for the TGL think it's as great as they say it is? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe some of these people are in it because they are very excited to watch fake golf inside of a community college inflatable dome. I find that hard to believe, but I don't know. I don't know these people's hearts or minds. Maybe they're super excited to watch this. I would say that everything we have seen that is unconventional in golf has been a novelty that loses its luster pretty quickly. Yeah. So we talked about real golf. We talked about fake golf. That leaves real golf that feels like fake golf.
Which is
me congratulating Colin Morikawa, who shot 32 under par over 4 rounds at the Century and still lost by 3 strokes to Hideki Matsuyama, who fired a tour record 35 under par. That is video game golf, folks. I'm not going to pretend to get all hot under the collar about this because I didn't watch any of the tournament at Kapalua, but that is a ridiculous scoreboard. And frankly, I don't have a ton of interest in watching an event in which first place is 35 under and second place is 32 under.
the ball's too hot, the club's too big, these guys are too good. And then on top of it, they make the fairways wider than Antarctica, and they run out. Why even have a 600-plus yard par 5 when the ball runs 180 yards? There's no penalty for missing. The rough's short. Greens are perfect. What are we doing here? The disconnect between what the game really is to what they're trying to sell us from the professional level, that ain't it. Just goes to show the argument for birdies are more exciting than bogeys. How many views did the Century get? How did the U.S. Open or the British Open do? There you have it, folks. People like to watch guys have to perform under pressure. And flagging it all day and making putts, that's not under pressure. Those guys that get up to the tee box and they're just freaking eyes are bigger than their stomach. They can't wait to watch this ball just trundle down the fairway hundreds of yards. Come on, dude. Stupid. Stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
These pros, as good as they are now, have no business having a driver that's 6 times the size of the golf ball. Stupid. It's too easy. Driving the golf ball is too easy. It's not fun to watch.
I'm going to clear out my notes similar to what we did on the Empty the Clip episode, which concluded our 2024 year, because quite frankly, we need to wrap this, but there's still some things that I want to get to in my notes app. Target bathrooms. We've talked about this on the podcast before. The best public bathroom experience you can ever have if you are in need of an emergency toilet.
Emergency toilet.
Target?
Target. Everyone knows that if you pull off to a gas station, 50% of the time the attendant is going to tell you that the bathrooms are out of order. That's a lie, because where is that guy going?
I like when the key is attached to an old toilet seat.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah. Or even just a nasty stick. And you're like, I don't want to touch that stick.
Ugh.
I'd rather my pants. So gas stations are a horrible crapshoot, no pun intended, for getting a quick emergency bathroom situation handled. And you can't just walk into a restaurant, blow past the host, and go to the bathroom and then blow out. Can you?
Yeah.
You go into a Starbucks, and more often than not, they have a code to get in.
And those ones are awkward because they're like close to where people are waiting for their lattes.
Uh-huh.
So if you blow the thing out and you open that door, you're basically putting a little sewer floater on their fucking caramel macchiato. You know what I mean? That's gnarly.
Okay. All right. The reason the Target ones are so great, those bathrooms are never coded. There's never even a door. You just walk through this pseudo start to a maze, and then you're in this 3-stall bathroom with at least 3 urinals. And I say this as a parent because
They have urinals at Target?
Yep.
Oh, I thought they'd be all... I can't say that.
As a parent, it's nice to be able to walk right into the sliding doors and go straight into a bathroom with no obstacles in front of you, no codes, no single stalls.
That is a good point. It's about the only thing Target's good for.
Exactly. And they're typically right at the front of the store. And the reason I bring it up a second time on this podcast is because on our way to Los Osos, which is only a mere 3 hours north of where we are, Is that how I say it?
No.
Who says it like that?
I just did.
You've done that 3 times.
Los Osos. So you Los Osos?
Do you know what Los Osos is Spanish for?
No.
The Bears.
Nice.
So the entire trip I walked around saying, "Da Bears." Da Bears.
I like that.
We stopped at 2 different Targets on the way up just for the bathroom. For my kids who had strep throat.
Johnny.
Well, they were on antibiotics. Antibiotics cause the rhea.
Oh, yeah. Because you lost all your probiotic.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. It's the antibiotics.
Yes.
That
So
get you.
we're heading up to 101, and Dad
Got to shit my pants.
Yep. Perfect. Plug in Target to the Apple Maps. Oh, there's one in 3 miles. Right in, right out. Target bathrooms. Huge.
Huge.
Huge. I came off the rails with my diet.
Couldn't tell.
I was working a pretty good diet for a couple of months there as we were getting ready for some photo shoots and some
Was I
live
right
shows.
again?
On what? My yo-yoing, my fluctuation, my inability to stick to anything?
Yeah, because you go to this extreme thing, and yes, you're going to get the weight loss, but then you're not creating a realistic regimen of change, and then so you get off of it, and then you just plump back up, and it's just like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
Here are some lowlights from over the break. I've already mentioned that on 3 consecutive nights I had cake, That was in Los Osos.
Go Bears.
When I got back from Los Osos,
Go Bears.
I ordered McDonald's at 10:30 at night after
Yikes.
dinner.
What'd you order?
Filet of fish meal.
Oh, dude. Was it still warm when it got to you? Not really.
No,
That's tough. The best part of a fillet of fish is the steamed bun.
absolutely.
Like, it's almost wet.
It was definitely wet.
It was definitely wet when you got it.
Yep. So a McDonald's DoorDash order at 10:30 at night after dinner, not great. And then the next night, I had 3 glasses of whiskey and ate an entire sleeve of Ritz crackers right before bed.
Ritz crackers. What are you, 90?
Tetris is in my notes. My son got the game Tetris for Christmas, and guess who has been playing it for hours on end every day?
You.
Yep. And guess who has the high score in the house?
Mina.
Yes, she does. And
Yeah.
it's driving me nuts.
Yep. Well, I was right again.
If I bring in the game, will you try to beat the high score? You strike me as a guy who would be very good at Tetris because it's of your time.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Did you play growing up?
Yeah, probably a little bit. Never was a huge video game guy. I got into Tiger Woods, PGA Tour, Wii tennis. I liked Wii tennis. 'cause
So
you,
good.
I had video games growing up, but it never was like a major thing, you know?
Yeah.
I think what really made me not play video games was I could never land the fucking plane in Top Gun, and it pissed me off. And so I was like, fuck this, I'm going outside. I was too impatient for it, you know?
Yeah.
And like all my nerdy friends who couldn't ever beat me one-on-one in basketball could land the plane on Top Gun. So I was just like, well, fuck that. I'm not going to be a video game guy. Those guys are fucking kooks. So I think that's where it happened. Thank you, Top Gun.
At any point in your life, could you ever dunk on a 10-foot hoop?
Yeah, I've dunked clean 4 times. I could grab rim easily, and I never had one in a game. I grabbed rim and tried to throw it down, but it went a little long and banked in, so it wasn't for real. But there was a time in my life where I was playing a lot of basketball, and I had some really good jumping ability there, and you know what I attribute it to? At that time, my truck was a stick shift, and you're always on the clutch with your left foot. And being a right-handed player, your left foot is your leaping foot, and I think always working that clutch, I had a pretty good up. And I have long arms, and I could palm the ball. I had like the attributes from my dad and his side of the family because they were all big, but I didn't get the height. So I have like big features because of them, and I think that helped me before I got out of shape when I was skinny.
2 questions related to everything you just said. 1, would it surprise you to know that I can drive a stick shift?
Yes.
That would surprise you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, consider yourself surprised.
Okay.
Okay.
I had a stick for a long time.
Great. Is that the one you crashed 3 times delivering pizzas and got fired?
No. That
Okay.
was a company-issued vehicle. No, I had a 92 4Runner stick shift.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
V6?
Yep. The next question related to what you just said was, and I'll just work backwards. Could you dunk on a 10-foot rim today?
No. I could probably dunk a tennis ball.
Regulation size basketball, could you dunk on a 9-foot rim?
Yes.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind if one day we went and tried it
Sure.
on film?
Yeah. If it was indoor, off of a wood floor, if I could stretch a little bit ahead of time and kind of warm up, yep. Outdoor asphalt in street clothes, maybe not. I don't know.
What's the harder part about jumping as a 43-year-old man? Getting up in the air or how it feels on your knees when you land? I am at the point, while you think about this, where stepping off of a curb is something I think about.
Oh, fuck. I've never thought about that, but yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's just because, yes, age and all that, being out of shape, that has a factor to it, but it's not doing the proper stuff. Because, like, look, even fucking LeBron James is, like, sitting in an air chamber in his legs and cold plunging and stretching and stuff. He's doing all this stuff so he can do it. We don't do anything. So if we were like, hey, in 2 weeks, we're going to try and do this thing, so every day we're going to stretch a little bit and like kind of work on it, then it's doable. But if you're asking us to just like walk out with our puffy vests on and heavy denim jeans and skate shoes with U-band in our belly with coffee farts, there's just no way we're going to fucking do anything positive.
8-foot rim?
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. 8-foot rim.
No doubt about it.
The Happy Gilmore 2 teaser was released. Not quite a trailer. It was a 30-second teaser. Did you see it?
Was it on social media?
It was.
I think I saw some of it. I scrolled past it, I'm pretty sure. Travis Kelce. What's this idiot doing in there?
You know, when you watch the MTV VMAs back in the day and they would do these vignettes where they would parody a movie, it looked like a parody of itself.
I think Adam took the bait, unfortunately. Instead of feeling inspired and wanting to do something, he listened to the fans get so loud that he felt the pressure to actually do it. And unfortunately, I have a hunch that I think it's going to come through in the film.
And on that note, folks, we are back. It's 2025. That is our first episode. And
We'd love to hear it.
Before we get out of here, make sure you navigate yourself over to nationgolf.com. Ryan Engle has just released the first product of the year, golf grips.
These are special. Let's see how they sell today. Maybe we'll have a little topic of conversation for next week.
I'll say this before we get out. I did not know that these grips would garner so much enthusiasm or hype, but you put out a couple of teaser posts this last week, and we have not received that much engagement on anything we've done all year. People are very excited for what you did with these grips here, and we'll see how they sell.
Stick with me, kid. I'll take you there.
Okay. This is a little thing I like to call put your money where your mouth is, because a lot of people wrote in the comments what they do every time we put a product out. Need this. Well, guess what? We sell it, so prove that you need it.
NationGolf.com for all your golf equipment needs.
Thank you so much for listening. We will talk to you next Monday.